Have you ever sat down to do something important, only to find yourself checking your phone a few minutes later? You start with good intentions. Maybe you wanted to study, read a book, finish some work, or learn a new skill. But somehow, you end up switching between apps, checking notifications, and consuming content you never planned to watch. Then, the day ends, and you're left wondering where all your time went. Most people think this happens because they're lazy or lack discipline, but that's usually not the real problem. The real problem is that your brain has become used to constant stimulation. Every day, you're surrounded by short videos, notifications, messages, recommendations, and endless content. Your mind never gets a chance to slow down. The moment there's silence, something appears to fill it. Over time, this changes the way you experience normal life. Reading feels harder, studying feels less interesting, and focusing on one task starts feeling uncomfortable. A few years ago, boredom was normal. You could sit quietly, wait in line, stare out of a window, or simply do nothing for a few minutes. Today, boredom lasts only a few seconds before we reach for a screen. The problem is that boredom isn't useless. It's actually one of the things that helps focus grow. When your brain gets used to constant entertainment, it starts expecting something new all the time. A new video, a new notification, a new piece of information. That's why scrolling for an hour feels easy, while concentrating on one task for 20 minutes feels difficult. One constantly feeds your brain something new, while the other requires patience. There's another thing most people never notice. Every time you leave a task, the moment it becomes difficult, you're teaching your brain a pattern. You're teaching it to escape discomfort instead of working through it. Repeat that often enough, and staying focused starts feeling harder and harder. The good news is that focus can be rebuilt. You don't need a complicated system. Start by giving your brain fewer distractions. Take a walk without your phone. Eat a meal without watching something. Spend a few minutes alone with your thoughts. And there's something important to understand here. Focus isn't something you're born with. It's something you train. Think about a professional athlete. They don't become stronger from one workout. They become stronger because they show up consistently. Focus works the same way. Every time you choose to stay on one task instead of switching to something easier, you're training your attention. It may not feel like much in that moment, but those small decisions add up over time. A few extra minutes of concentration today become better focus next week. Better focus next week becomes stronger habits next month. That's why the goal isn't to become perfectly focused overnight. The goal is simply to improve a little bit every day, because small improvements repeated long enough can completely change the way your mind works. Then start training your attention little by little. 10 minutes of focused work is enough to begin. One task, no notifications, no switching between apps. Most people underestimate how powerful this can be. If you can truly focus on one thing for 10 minutes today, you can focus for 15 tomorrow, 20 next week, and much longer in the future. The most important thing to remember is this. You're not bad at focusing. Your brain is simply adapting to the environment you've been giving it. Change the environment, and your attention will begin to change too. So here's something I want you to try today. Spend 10 minutes doing absolutely nothing. No phone, no music, no videos, no scrolling. Just sit quietly with your thoughts. If those 10 minutes feel difficult, that might be the clearest sign that your mind needs a break from constant stimulation. Most people think focus is about finding the perfect productivity trick, but real focus usually comes from removing distractions, not adding more systems. The quieter your mind becomes, the easier it is to pay attention to what actually matters. Because sometimes getting your focus back isn't about doing more. It's about giving your brain the silence it has been missing for years.